Hi, I'm Gnene Fordyce, and I'll give you a little information on the history of our Faith Stock Show and Rodeo. We, as I've said before, I do believe are the longest continually running stock show and rodeo because a lot of places did not have their celebrations during the Depression. Faith started out building a grandstand right away, and there's a picture here of the old grandstand, and you can see the carnival and everything. That was in 1919. The grandstands and the rodeo grounds were a little bit different place than they are now, just north of where they are now. And during the Great Depression, Faith community took advantage of the WPA, Works Project Administration, and we moved the grandstands. It was a WPA project, and they moved the grandstands to where they are today. So that was a big deal. It put a lot of people to work and definitely helped out the Faith area. In 1976, bicentennial year, Faith decided that maybe we should renovate and or build new grandstands. So they went to Rapid City and they talked to a lot of city planners, and they said, oh, we can help you out. The federal government will give you a grant. It'll be great. The faithful volunteers in those days were horrified to find out that due to being a federally funded project and taking a federal grant, it would inflate the cost of everything, and it would be more than $250,000. Faith turned down a federal grant, and in those days, that was pretty unheard of. It actually made national news because we turned down a federal grant, and everybody just started donating. And so we built grandstands for like $50,000 or $60,000, what the federal government said was going to be at least $250,000 if we took a federal grant. And those are the grandstands that stand today. Everybody pitched in and built those, and we are doing renovations to those, but those exact grandstands are what we still watch our rodeos in today. We also have behind me a variety of stock show posters from years past. The one thing that made the Faith Stock Show and Rodeo unique is we featured a Grand Ole Opry-style show. And in the days before satellite radio and everything like that, where you can get music at the drop of a hat, it was a big deal to go to a concert. We started in 1964 with the Willis Brothers, and our last big act was Chris Ledoux and Sweethearts of the Rodeo in 1992. A highlight for many people was watching George Strait here in 1986. Most people can tell you, if they're in the crowd, that got to watch George Strait here. That was a big deal for Faith. It just is not a practicality anymore. It does not make monetary sense to have a concert like that, or we would still be doing it. But it is something that has set the Faith community apart from others because we did have a longstanding tradition of the concert series. I have the actual rodeo program from 1922. And it is interesting to see that things were a lot different in those days than they are today. In those days, softball and baseball was a big deal. And all of the area towns and little communities played one another. And if you look here on Tuesday of their celebration, that was the focus, is ball games. It was ball games all day long. And if you go on, of course, obviously bronc riding was one of the big focuses, but horse races have always been a big focus in Faith, and we continue that tradition today. We have match races today, and we also feature Indian relay races. We try to keep a lot of those old traditions alive here, and that is kind of something that Faith is known for, is our horse races. Everybody likes to come to Faith and watch those horse races. We're up here at the grandstands just to focus on many of the renovations that we've done in the last 10 to 15 years. The latest being the walkway in front of the grandstands here. As I said earlier, all this was built in 76, and it's wood, and things needed to be replaced. So we poured concrete the whole length of the grandstands, and it's going to be here for years and years in the future. We've welded, we've turned almost every bit of the pens into pipe, and we've redone our chutes, our good pipe chutes. Everything used to be made out of wood. We've redone both of the grandstands. We try to do upkeep every year. We try to have renovations that will help out the grounds and will be here for years to come.